Hello and good morning, kind friends and companions. I'm Morgan Donner and I'm moving. I've lived in Seattle for probably about 10 years at this point, and it's just time. It's time for a change, and why do a small change when you can do a really big one and move literally all the way across the country? We are going to be leaving the beautiful Pacific Northwest and driving until we hit the hopefully also beautiful Atlantic Northeast. We are driving instead of flying for several reasons, but I think one of the biggest ones is our beautiful, everything's beautiful in this video apparently, our greyhounds. I know in theory that you can fly pets on airplanes and it's probably fine like 99.9% of the time or whatever, but it just makes me really nervous and I'd rather not. So before we drive though, we do have one final last project to make this journey run a little bit more smoothly. I might have kind of fallen into a van life, like van conversion rabbit hole, the concept of converting your van into a sort of livable space for road trips and camping and things like that. I didn't end up quite doing the whole way, but it very much inspired me to add a lifted floor to our van so that we can store things safely underneath and our dogs will have a nice like flat surface to be on during the week of traveling. I have gone camping with the dogs before and it's always been really tricky to safely secure everything and have them have a comfortable space to rest, and so I think this is going to really nicely answer that whole thing. So here's what we've got going, a pair of removable panels over this front area so that we had like a more flexibility in what we put here and being able to get it in and out. But the back half is actually bolted on. We can put things in there that we're not going to want to like get out super often. It's less convenient, but it really does kind of make it so that everything is super non-shifty and really like rock solid. While he was finishing this up, I went ahead and made/modified a bunch of dog beds, pillows, cushions, that kind of thing, so that they would fit back here perfectly without overlap. We should probably start packing. Oh goodness. So we have packed up everything now, both the majority of our big belongings that have been put into a pod to go into storage like indefinitely, and all of our small stuff that we're going to want to have more kind of constant access to for the next couple months. And I think we are all ready to head out tomorrow, which I am super excited about. But first, let's you and me have a little talk. Come closer. Do you ever have that feeling that something in your life needs to change? I think we all get that and react to it various ways. Changing your hair, rearranging your house, shopping for a new look. It's something, you know, it feels like it needs to change. We have a lot of reasons for why we're moving, but I'll be honest, that is absolutely one of the reasons. It feels like it's time for something new and different. I love my old house and I will always have a very special place in my heart for it, but it was getting in the way of some of the goals that we have for how we want to be spending our lives and pursuing happiness. If you're feeling something kind of similar though, moving might not be the answer. You know, changing where you live might not be an option, or it just might not be what you're looking for. In that case, you might want to check out the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a professional counseling network with over 15,000 counselors worldwide with, you know, a broad range of expertise. Within 48 hours of signing up, you can start communicating with your own licensed professional therapist matched up with you via BetterHelp. You can log in and send a message to your counselor anytime, and you can schedule once a week either video or phone sessions, all online, super easy. It's much more affordable than traditional meet space counseling, and BetterHelp is committed to facilitating really great matches, so they make it really easy and free to change your counselors if you just aren't vibing with your current match. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/Donner, that's betterhelp.com/Donner, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of experienced professionals. There's even a special offer for you lovely folks. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/Donner. I am so tired from packing. All right, I will see you lovely folks in the morning. We woke up and said goodbye to the Space Needle and the shiny, tall buildings of Seattle, and very quickly said hello to the coniferous landscape of the Cascade Mountains. Please pardon this plant. They ended up living on the dash for most of this trip, so I guess get acquainted. But yes, behind them, the mountains look misty and lovely in a way that I think was actually really hard to capture fully on camera. We've got some 43 hours left to go, approximately 1 full work week just of driving. So that'll be a grand adventure. So as someone who desperately needs to keep my hands busy at all times, I did make sure to bring a project with me. I'm using this lovely gray wool and I'm going to make a hat. So I started off with a slip knot and then went around that slip knot circle with blanket stitches. After a full round, maybe 8 or 9 stitches or something, I cinched it closed with that slip knot and then looped the thread around my thumb. From here on out, I'm gonna do mammon stitches, which is a type of stitch based on clothing found on a man in a burial from like 970 in Denmark. I know it's not super clear here with the car moving a bunch, so let's try again a little bit later at a rest stop. I grab 1 stitch from the row below and then 2 from behind my thumb and then twist it back underneath my thumb to create a new band over top the thumb. That's a lot of thumbs, sorry. There are a ton of variations on this where you grab 2 stitches below or 3 or just 1 behind the thumb or 3 or 4 or more, and they all have a slightly different look when it's done. These are nalbinding stitches, a predecessor to knitting. I'll make sure to include some links below to much clearer explanations than this in case you want to give it a try. So we have hit up our very first rest stop and had a lovely walkabout. Very pretty scenic. We've gone out of the pine areas and into farm field areas, although now as I say that, we've immediately found a bunch of pines. So maybe in Washington you never escape the pines, that's just the way it is. We saw maybe a wind turbine wing, like you know those giant wheels that suck up air for energy, like on a truck, and they're huge. They're way bigger than you would think they are. In addition to ogling sleeping wind turbines and playing with yarn, I also entertained myself by documenting our journey via stickers on my mug.
Welcome to
Entering
Idaho.
a new state means a new sticker. We did stop briefly for lunch and then continued on through the Rocky Mountains of Idaho, which were delightfully green and winding. Alrighty, so we are 2 states down, or just about. We are that far away from reaching our next state, which is fantastic. I'll see if I can get the sign. I might have missed my chance because this rest stop is kind of weirdly located. But if you squint really hard,
Welcome to
it's
Montana.
that way. My hat is looking, you know, it's getting there. It's not quite fully hat mode yet, but we are getting close. The pups are really enjoying the chance to get out and, you know, have a walk every couple hours, and me too. It's nice to shake out the legs. As Idaho faded into the distance behind us, the shrublands of Montana quickly made themselves known. As a side note, I do love it when towns have a little letter on the hillside thing. So fun. All right, we have completed our first day of driving and we are now nicely moteled up. So we have a place to stay for the day, evening, night. Now we are hungry and gonna go get some tasty local food.
Hello, Internet. We have gotten more coffee. We are leaving the land of butts, also known as Butte. We are driving through the scenic Montana countryside. There are lots of hills. The infrastructure here is amazing. Yeah, very cool place.
We have made it to our first rest stop of the day, and it is so stinking pretty, like just lovely rolling hills, very green little like trees. It's so dang pretty. I think I'm starting to get why people like road trips. As is the way of road trips, we did stop quite often to enjoy the view, to stretch our legs, let the dogs have a break. Stops were a really good opportunity to get a drink, visit local stores, grab a snack. We also stopped at many green spaces along the way for longer walks, like the aptly named Cottonwood Park in Broadus, Montana. So we are just about done with Montana. We've got this last little stretch to go. Then we're gonna just barely, for like all of maybe 5 minutes, go through the very tippy-tip corner of Wyoming. I'm totally gonna put in Wyoming even though we're there for a second. I don't care, it counts. And then we're gonna hang out in South Dakota for a good bit, probably get about halfway through, and then probably dinner and break for the night. But we are moving right along. It is the morning of our third day. We are currently waiting in line for more delicious coffees in order to get our trip started. We're in Rapid City, which is actually a really, really cool place. I didn't realize how many cool old shops, like there was like a gaming place that we passed by. It seems like a really awesome place to spend some time. But unfortunately, we gotta go. Maybe we'll catch sight of the Badlands, you said? Uh-huh. Apparently it's very pretty, so...
They're very bad. Not good for farming.
Alright, the lands of bad. We have found them. They're very deep. They do not look very safe at all to be in. I see where the name comes from. Yeah, very cool though. Like all the striations of color.
It is not cool. It's so hot.
It is very hot, that's true. We've seen no less than at least 30 signs for wall drug. I don't know what this is, but apparently they really, really want you to come check them out. Maybe we'll stop by and see what is so absolutely fascinating.
Oh, 31.
31 signs. We really didn't have time for a proper stay, but Wall Drug does seem like a great place for a rest during a long trip. More windmills, more hat progress, and we enjoyed some particularly lovely clouds before ending our day. Alrighty, we are on to day 4 of driving, sounds like. And we just spent the night in Minnesota, and everyone was actually super, super nice. We are just about done though, like surprisingly fast drive so far to get to our next state. But before we leave, I should go ahead and put on my next sticker right here. Oh, hat update. We're doing pretty good. I need several more inches at least, but we're getting pretty close.
Several more inches.
Sir. As we headed eastward, these states get smaller and smaller, and we really started flying through them. Unfortunately, my sticker placement got thrown off a bit by available space on my mug. My apologies to those of you for whom I'm sure this really annoys. Where are we now?
Angola, Indiana.
Ah, we have made it to Indiana.
Welcome to Indiana.
Today was a lot of driving, but not a lot of activity otherwise, which I guess describes all of the days, but today was particularly non-activity filled. We did get to see and drive through Chicago a little bit, which was kind of fun, but otherwise it was a whole lot of fields. We are now at a good resting point for the night, and we are going to go see about getting some tasty food since we ended up not getting lunch today. So we're hungry. See you later. Hello and good morning, lovely people. We are on day 5 of our trip, which is getting really close. I don't think we're gonna quite make it to the end. We're gonna very shortly here get to Ohio and then spend a good chunk of the morning traveling through Ohio. Then we will touch just a little bit of Pennsylvania for a second and then keep rolling on. Hopefully we'll end up in New York at some point today, but that's probably as far as we're gonna be able to go. If we had really rushed it, we could have maybe done the whole trip in 5 days, but that would have been doing some really, really long days. So yeah, onward and forward. Hey Noodle, guess what day it is?
Friday?
The last day of driving.
Oh, yes.
Not only was it our last day of driving, it was also a very short day, which was absolute icing on the cake. Speaking of which, quick aside, icing on the cake. Am I the only one out there who really doesn't like icing and think this is kind of a dumb phrase? Like, I'll literally eat all of the cake and other stuff and leave the icing on the plate. Anyways, so yes, we are here in New England, which is in fact quite beautiful. So now our mission is to go ahead and drive all around the area, visiting all the towns, all the places, until we find the perfect house for us. And hopefully that doesn't take too long. We shall see. But since we've finished the traveling portion from West Coast to East Coast, I figure that we should probably also finish off that hat. It really is pretty much done. The only thing left is this little working end needs to be woven in, and the original end that the hat started with also needs to be worked in. So that's going to be pretty quick and simple, and then I will have a very cute hat. I really appreciated that this gave me something to do with my hands because, oh boy, now that it's done, I'm really unsure of what to do next. Gotta say, looking at my hair in the mirror and like thinking of shenanigans is getting really tempting. But hopefully we find a house and I can busy myself with moving in. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Absolutely check out their link in the description if that's something that feels like would be a good fit for you in your life. Farewell.